Miguel Street was written by Naipaul and published in 1959. This novel is based quite a bit on his childhood experiences while growing up in Port of Spain, Trinidad. In the novel, there are stories about eccentric residents of a poor and shabby street in Port of Spain, Trinidad. The narrator is a young boy growing up there. Each chapter tells about a different person from the street. Bogart is the first person the narrator remembers. He is a quiet man. He suddenly disappears one day without explanation. People find out later on that he has been arrested in another country for bigamy. He is sent to jail. After serving his prison time, he returns back to Miguel Street and continues to live quietly. This shows that many people in the street have strange hidden lives. Another character living in Miguel Street is Popo the carpenter. He is always building the thing without a name. He constantly works with wood but never finishes anything useful. He keeps hammering and sawing every day in his yard. His wife supports him by working. Then Popo steals some wood and is caught. He is sent to prison. When he returns, he declares proudly that in prison he finally made something because prison forced him to do real carpentry. George also lives in Miguel Street. He is a government worker. He is cruel to his wife and beats her all the time to show his authority. Thus, George is a violent and unpleasant husband. The narrator realizes that many men living in Miguel Street are trapped in unhappy lives and take out their frustrations violently. Man is a strange religious fanatic living in Miguel Street. He claims to be a holy man. One day he tells everybody that he will crucify himself like Christ in a public ceremony. A large crowd gathers to see the crucifixion, but when the moment of crucifixion arrives, Man panics and runs away. The ceremony is ruined and the crowd ends up chasing him. Eventually he is arrested. Naipaul hints that Man could be mentally unstable. B. Wordsworth is a gentle poet living in Miguel Street. He becomes a friend of the narrator. He tells the narrator that he is writing the greatest poem in the world. That poem will describe everything in the universe. Wordsworth often takes the boy to a small field and discusses poetry and nature. He says that every flower and bee is a part of the poem. Later, the narrator learns that the poem does not really exist. Wordsworth is a lonely and struggling man living in poverty. Soon afterwards, Wordsworth becomes ill and succumbs to the illness. The field where they used to go is destroyed. The narrator is left with a sad feeling of their friendship. This character shows the beauty of imagination and the sadness of unfulfilled dreams. Morgan is a man living on Miguel Street. He says that he is the genius inventor. He builds a huge fireworks display for the British Empire. Many people come to watch, but Morgan's fireworks accidentally burn down many houses in Miguel Street. Morgan is sent to prison for it. This shows people having big dreams but failing. Laura is a woman who has many children by different men. Initially, Laura is cheerful and lively, but later on, her life becomes more difficult due to poverty and scandal. This character shows the hardship faced by women. The narrator lives with his father and the rest of the family on Miguel Street. The father is irresponsible and unreliable. He drinks heavily and spends most of his time wandering around with other men. He does not take proper care of the family. The boy grows up without much guidance or affection from his father. The father often becomes angry or violent, especially at the narrator's mother. Sometimes the father beats her. This frightens the narrator and makes him feel helpless. This type of domestic violence also happens in other families living on Miguel Street. The father often disappears for long periods. At those times, the family has no money or support. Ultimately, the father becomes ill and succumbs to the illness. This is the quiet end of a troubled life. The narrator and his mother are left alone. Hat is a respected man living on Miguel Street. He is a calm and confident man. He spends most of his time liming or hanging out with friends and giving advice. People admire him because he is always in control. One day, Hat fights another man and stabs him. He is arrested and sent to prison. Eddoes is a small time conman and trickster living on Miguel Street. He tells people that he is involved in many businesses. He tries to cheat people with fake business schemes. He appears clever and sophisticated. Then the police arrest him for fraud and send him to jail. Titus Hoyt believes he is an intellectual and teacher. He tries to educate everybody on Miguel Street. He is always correcting people's grammar. He opens a school for poor children. But the school does not succeed, and Titus Hoyt never becomes the respected scholar he believes himself to be. Bigfoot is a large, intimidating man who becomes a boxer. People living on Miguel Street are proud of him and think that he will become famous. But when Bigfoot fights professionally, he is knocked out almost immediately. His boxing career collapses. Elias is a quiet and hard-working boy. He studies hard in school. All the people living on Miguel Street think that Elias will succeed and become a professional man, but Elias fails in important exams. His confidence is crushed and he ends up working as a cart driver. Dolly runs a brothel in her house on Miguel Street. One day the police raid her house and the brothel is shut down. Everybody is shocked. There is a lot of gossip and excitement among the residents. The narrator realizes that Miguel Street traps people in small lives and broken ambitions. People have dreams but do not have the opportunities to achieve them. The stories in the novel are often humorous, but they show loneliness, disappointment, and the struggle to escape poverty. The characters have big dreams, but they do not achieve their dreams. Their hopes are broken. Eventually, the narrator wins a scholarship to study abroad. At the end of the novel, he leaves Miguel Street, becoming the first person from the street to escape its cycle of poverty and disappointment.